Ballybeg, Burnfoot, King's Head, White Plains, Fairhill, Dunboy, Greenbank.
I'll take that. It's only a catalog of names.
I know what it is.
A mistake. My mistake. Nothing to do with us. I hope that's strong enough. Jimmy! Wake up, Jimmy! Wake up, man!
What?
Here, drink this. Then go away home. There may be trouble. Do you hear me, Jimmy? There may be trouble.
We must learn these new names.
Do you see a sap lying about?
We must learn where we live. We must learn to make this our home. We must make this our new home.
I know where I live.
James thinks he knows too. I look at James and three thoughts occur to me. A, that it's not the literal past, the facts of history that shape us, but the images of the past, embodied in language, that do. And James has ceased to make that discrimination.
Don't lecture me, Father!
B, we must never cease renewing those images, because once we do, we fossilize. Is there any soda bread around here?
And see, Father, one unalterable fact. If we do not find Yolen, we will all be evicted. Lancey has already put out the order.
Ah, edictum imperatoris.
You should change out of those wet clothes. I have to go. I have to see Dulcie Dan Dulcie.
What about?
I'll be back soon.
Take care, young Owen. To remember everything is but a form of sadness. Ah, the road to Sligo. A spring morning, 1798. Going into battle. Don't you remember, James? Two young gallants with pikes across their shoulders and the Aeneid in their pockets. The whole enterprise of consciousness accelerated. We were gods that morning, James. I had just recently married my goddess, Caitlin Dubnik Reacton. May she rest in peace. And to leave her and her infant son in his cradle, that was heroic too. Everything seemed to find definition that morning. A miraculous matching of hope and past and present and possibility, striding across the fresh green land. The rhythms of perception heightened. The desiderum nostrorum, the need for our own. Our pieties James. By God, sir, we were magnificent that day. We marched as far as, where was it? Glentides, all 23 miles in one day. Our pietas James was for older, quieter things, and that was the longest 23 miles back I ever made. My friend, confusion is not an ignoble condition.
I'm back again. I set out for somewhere, but I couldn't remember where, so I came back here.
I will teach you English, young Moira.
Will you, Master? I must learn it. I need to learn it.
You may well be my only pupil.
Master, what does the English word always mean?
Semper peramnia secula. The Greeks called it I. It's not a word I'd start with. It's a silly word, girl.
When he comes back, this is where he'll come to. He told me this is where he was happiest.
Do you know the Greek word endogamine? It means to marry within the tribe. Do you know the Greek word exogamine? It means to marry outside the tribe. And you don't cross these borders casually. Both sides get very angry. Now, the problem is this. Is Athene sufficiently mortal, or am I sufficiently godlike for the marriage to be acceptable to her people and to my people? You think about that.
We start.
Not today. Tomorrow, perhaps. After the funeral. We'll begin tomorrow. But don't expect too much. I'll provide you with the available words and the available grammar. But will you be able to interpret between privacies? I have no idea. But it's all we have. I really have no idea. Urbs antiqua fui. There was an ancient city which 'tis said Juno above all the lands, and it was the goddess's aim and cherished hope that here should be the capital of all nations, should the fates perchance allow that. Yet in truth she discovered that a race was springing from Trojan blood to overthrow someday these Trojan towers. A people, late regem belloque superbo, kings of broad realms and proud in war, who would come forth from Libya's downfall. One, action. James thinks he knows too. When I look at James, a thought occurs. 3 thoughts occur. B, we must never cease renewing these images, because once we do, we fossilize. Is there any soda bread?
And C, Father. If I forgot what it was.
Okay.
Action.
B, we must never cease renewing those images, because once we do, we fossilize. Is there no soda bread?
And see, Father, one unalterable fact. If we don't find Yolan, we will all be evicted.
Ah, edicta.
You coming over here?
Action.
You should change out of those wet clothes. I have to go see Dulty Dan. Wait, what the fuck is this?
Action.
You should change out of those wet clothes. I gotta go. I have to see Dulty Dan Dulty.
What about?
Action.
Everything seemed to find a miraculous definition. Yeah, I screwed up already.
Action.
Everything seemed... The whole enterprise of consciousness accelerated. Wait, is that the whole... By God, sir, we were magnificent. We marched as far... How far were we? No, screw that.
Action.
And it was there, at Phelan's pub, that we got homesick for Athens, just like Ulysses. The desiderum...
No, it's not.
Action.
Our pietas, James, was for older, quieter things. And that was the longest 23 miles...
No, you can't do that.
Do it again. I have action. And that was the longest 23 miles I've ever made. My friend,
No!
our pietas, James, was for older, quieter things. And that was the...
When can we start?
Not today, tomorrow. Just keep the camera rolling, or you can cut this out.
Action.
Master, what does the English word always mean?
Semper peramnia secula. The Greeks called it I. It's not a word I'd start. It's a silly word, girl.
When he comes back, this is where he'll come to. He told me this is where he... I messed the end up. When he comes back, this is where he'll come to. He told me this is where he was the happiest.
We didn't get the first part.
We don't need the first part.
My part where I talk.
We don't need that again.
Yeah, I think we do.
No, we don't. You did it fine.
Did I do it fine?
Yeah.
Please tell me you aren't recording this.